अगर मुझे नेक्स्ट लेवल पर जाना है जहां पर मुझे मेकिंग इंडिया एम्प्लॉयबल को सर्व करना है, एक मिशन को सर्व करना है, ऐसे कौन से लोग हैं जो नेशनल लेवल पर मिशन को सर्व कर रहे हैं?
Maybe you're grateful that you're not infected by COVID. Maybe you're grateful that you have a job. Yeah? Think about this for a moment, about one thing that you're grateful for.
And am I really becoming that person who is able to achieve that goal? That's the question which you should ask yourself. The job search cycle, in the entire job search cycle, the conversations that you are having with maybe the recruiter. See, why it is happening is only because we are rejecting that uncertainty and we are not expecting it. That is the problem actually.
Why such companies which are looking at variable pay model than the fixed pay model?
Anyone can break it. But if you take many of them, it is very difficult to break all of them together. 30, 35, 40 years of life that I have, rest of it, am I going to really go to the same thing, sit on the same place? Very wisely, I kept focusing on my performance, on my goals, on my aspiration and on my career. The leader बनना है, and when I said that to Dr. Atreya, he asked me, how many trainer coaches do you know, Jogesh? When I met Dr. Atreya, he shared something incredible with me. And I'm telling you guys, these are golden nuggets. He was trainer in 1950-54. From then, he is a trainer. Alright, and he has shared this. He said, Jogesh, आपने 90 days का तो challenge कर लिया भाई, but possibility है कि 5th day, 10th day, 15th day, 20th day, आप बोलोगे आज नहीं करना है. You know, it will come because you are human being. You are unpredictable. It is possible, all right. But in order to reduce that possibility and probability, what you need is the rule of 33%. Now today, when I set this goal, कि मुझे आज क्या करना है, मुझे 17th March को 6 packs चाहिए. अभी तो हालत खराब है, right? 17th March. But in my circle, today when I have set this goal for myself, how many people have 6-pack? None? कोई नहीं है. मेरे सर्कल में एटलीस्ट कोई नहीं है. या ऐसे कोई लोग जो ये एस्पिरेशन रखते हैं कि यार मुझे 6-pack करने हैं, अभी एक मिल गया मुझे, राइट? The rule of 33% says that 33% of your network and your time should with people who are ahead of you. Ahead of you. मतलब अगर आपका नाम क्या है? अब्दुल. अब्दुल, अगर आपको मॉर्निंग में उठना है तो आपके सर्कल में कितने ऐसे लोग हैं जो मॉर्निंग में अर्ली उठने का एस्पिरेशन रखते हैं, उसी के बारे में बात करते हैं, वही चीज़ उनके माइंड में हमेशा चलती रहती है. अमोल सर है आपके पास, छोड़ो मत उनको. आई एम टेलिंग यू, you're lucky guys. I am telling you, you're lucky guys. You don't know what power he has. He can move mountains. He is very energetic. Even I get inspired from him after looking at his consistency. I have never ever seen such consistent guy. Alright? How many people in your network are those who have such aspiration where you want to go? अगर आप बोलते हो कि मुझे प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर बनना है, आपके नेटवर्क में कितने प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर है भाई साहब? अभी कोई भी नहीं है. Why it is important? Why it is important to have 33% people and time you should be spending with people who are ahead of you? Why? Why do you think it is important? क्यों ज़रूरी है? Why?
Learn how they manage, how they implement the things.
Okay, what else? What is that? संगत का असर. बट क्यों बोला जाता है ऐसा? आपके गोल की याद दिलाने वाला चाहिए, दैट्स अ गुड वन, बट इंस्पिरेशन, बट मोर देन दैट, comparison with what, why it is important?
teaches us how.
ओके
When he can do it, I can do it.
अगर वो कर सकता है तो मैं तो कर ही सकता हूँ. व्हाट एल्स? ओके.
ज़्यादातर लोग जो चीज़ें हम करते हैं वो आजू बाजू वाले देखकर करते हैं.
हाँ, आजू बाजू वाले को देख के होता है. तो आप क्या होते हो उनसे? इन्फ्लुएंस होते हो, राइट? थॉट्स जिससे क्या आता है? फीलिंग्स जिससे क्या आता है?
Action leads to result.
राइट. ये हमको सबको पता है कि हम जैसा सोचेंगे उससे क्या होगा, फीलिंग्स आएगी उससे क्या होगा, एक्शंस लेंगे उससे क्या होगा, रिजल्ट होगा. बट फिर भी हम हमारी सर्कल को चेंज.
It's difficult to find such people.
इट्स वेरी इजी टू फाइंड सच पीपल इन सोशल एज. इट्स वेरी इजी टू फाइंड सच पीपल, राइट? कंफर्ट जोन, थॉट्स, फीलिंग्स, एक्शंस, रिजल्ट्स. वी नो दिस. अगर मुझे एक इंस्पिरेशनल लीडर बनना है, एंड व्हेन आई सेड दैट टू डॉक्टर आत्रेया, ही आस्क्ड मी हाउ मेनी ट्रेनर कोचेस डू यू नो जोगेश? वेरी फ्यू. वेरी फ्यू. टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, वेरी फ्यू. तो कितने को आप जान सकते हो? मैं बोला जान तो बहुत लोगों को सकता हूँ. Start networking, learning from them and observe them what they do. Read what they are reading. Attend those sessions and seminar where they are going. Spend time in coffee, having lunch with them. Even in my community, there are a lot of people who say that, Jogesh, I want to become a vice president in such and such and such role. I said, how many vice presidents do you have already in your network? हाँ मैं जानता हूँ. जानना नहीं है, उसके आगे क्या? Right? When you start developing your circle, your aura, your energy, and you connect with their energy, aura, circle, thought process, what happens? It gets elevated. आप यहाँ पर आए हो, मॉर्निंग से लेके अभी तक बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीख रहे हो, बहुत सारी चीज़ें अंदर जा रही है. आपकी माइंडसेट, आपकी प्रोग्रामिंग, आपकी रीप्रोग्राम हो रही है, थॉट प्रोसेस, राइट? एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट सेड इट्स अ जर्नी. You will enjoy this journey, you will discover yourself in this journey and become version 2.0. But it will not happen unless and until you change your circle. Because your circle will have an influence in your thought process. Right? This is one. Second, he said 33% time with the people who are with you. जो आपके लेवल पर है, जो आपके साथ है. जैसे he is the one who wants to make six pack. I will hang out with him to know what he is doing and also share what I am doing. अब इसने बना लिया है तो he is an inspiration for me. So he is in the first category who are ahead of me. He's already done it what I want to do. Right? He is the one who is doing it. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? इनके साथ ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करूंगा. बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस शेयरिंग होगा. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हम लोग करते हैं बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस शेयरिंग सेशंस, राइट? थर्ड, विद द पीपल हु आर बिहाइंड यू टू अंडरस्टैंड द ट्रेंड. जो नए एंटर कर रहे हैं, मैंने तो हो गया 8-10 दिन हो गया, थोड़ा आगे जाऊंगा तो महीना हो जाएगा, 3 महीना हो जाएगा, 6 महीना हो जाएगा, 6 पैक बन जाएंगे, राइट? But with those who are aspiring to create and then understand what is working best for them and then fast track my journey. When I started in this journey of self-development, there were a lot of trainers, coaches from 10, 12, 15, 20 years and they had still not written their first book. There were a lot of them who have not yet created their digital programs. There are a lot of them who have not yet created their, have had their TEDx appearances, right? So these are the people who are now, I am ahead of them and they are the ones who are still there following the traditional methods to understand what I should not do, to understand what the trend is, alright. Again, this is one of the framework which I have used and I continuously use and ask myself कि अगर मुझे नेक्स्ट लेवल पर जाना है जहाँ पर मुझे मेकिंग इंडिया एम्प्लॉयबल को सर्व करना है, एक मिशन को सर्व करना है, ऐसे कौन से लोग हैं जो नेशनल लेवल पर मिशन को सर्व कर रहे हैं, who are already doing it, done it. Alright? Who are those people? Can I know them? Can I talk with them? Can I interview them? Can I know their philosophy? Can I know how did they do it? Can I know what affiliations did they do? Can I know how did they got sponsorship for their projects? Right? ये सब चीज़ जब आपको पता चलने लगेगी, I think then it will be easier journey for you guys to become version 2.0.
I know you're stressed for a couple of things which might not be working right now. I know that you're trying to get a results or an outcome for quite some time now and you've not been able to get it. I understand all that. But here is the question which will enable you further to get the outcome that you have been trying to get for quite some time now. Are you ready? Yeah? Here's the question. And I ask this question in all my webinars that I conduct. The question is, at this very moment, what are three important things that you are absolutely grateful for? Guess what? You know the question. I know that you know the question. But what I want to really stress upon is the intensity of the feeling here. That maybe you are grateful that you are alive. Maybe you are grateful that you are not infected by COVID. Maybe you are grateful that you have a job. Yeah? Think about this for a moment, about one thing that you are grateful for, and intensify the feelings here. And think about all those people who are right now chasing to get that result or chasing to come out of the problem that you are not at right now. And then think about the gratefulness that you have. And I have this exercise on a regular basis in my webinar, in my community. They've created something called as Dream Job Journal. And that is one tool which we give to all the professionals who are part of my community. And one of the key elements of that entire Dream Job Journal is the gratitude list. Gratitude as attitude. When you talk about, or when I talk about building a career map, I necessarily talk about that from the 20-25 as age till 60, for some of you 55-50, almost 30-35 to 40 years we spend with our career, which is a journey that we take as soon as we start our career. And if we take up that journey without a map in hand, how that journey is going to be without a map? Now, there are a lot of different elements to a successful career which we also talked about, but one of the key element which I want to bring out is when you design a specific career map for yourself, why not also design a parallel skill map? Because it is less about that role, that designation, but more about who do I really need to become in order to achieve that goal. And am I really becoming that person who is able to achieve that goal? That's the question which you should ask yourself. And especially when it comes to skill, I've also observed a lot of people who are very good in technical skill, who are very good in the technical part of the skill, but when it comes to expressing that knowledge, there is a gap. When it comes to expressing that knowledge and articulating that knowledge, there is a gap. So what does it mean? It means that we got to work on non-technical aspect. Are we really looking at that? Are we really looking at building a technical or non-technical in the long run when it comes to career? Yeah. When we look at 30-35 years of journey, what are the accomplishments what I want to have? What are the contributions which I want to give in what area or industry or that specific role that I want to give those contributions? Let us start thinking aloud and have a helicopter view of where am I right now in my career journey and where do I aspire to lead my career from where I am right now. And when I start understanding the gap, is the moment when I start bridging the gap as well. So the first step is understanding the gap. Second step is that bridging that gap and consciously taking a step by step approach to bridge that gap by designing not only a career map but also a skill map which is supporting that career map. How have you designed your career map?
What are you listening to? Are you listening to the words? Are you listening to the intentions? Let me tell you guys, let me tell you that whenever you're conversating with someone, and in this case I'm talking about the conversation which we have with the job opportunities which are in the market, and you get call from there to you getting a final offer and you joining the company. In that period, and I call it the job search cycle, in the entire job search cycle, the conversations that you are having with maybe the recruiter, maybe the hiring manager, maybe the talent acquisition manager, all right, and maybe with yourself. Now in that conversation, what are you listening to? Are you listening to the words which people are speaking and which you are having that conversation with yourself, or are you listening to intentions? Why? Because once you start listening at a deeper level, you will be getting more insights and depth from that person, number one, and number two, the more insights you get, better prepared you are. All right, the more insights you get, better prepared you are. All right, once you start focusing on listening to the intention and not only merely to words, that is when the shift started happening in not only the interview as an outcome, but also you become more aware about yourself. Start listening to the intention and stop listening to the words.
We realized one thing, and I was reading a report other day. We talked about how companies are going to transition, not all sectors, but few sectors, which are going to transition from a fixed pay model to variable pay model. Now, when they are making that transition, what is in it for me to share with you? The thing which I wanted to really share here is that the gig economy or the freelancers economy is here to stay. Now, if your industry is one of them, like an IT, where you can really work on projects, where you can really work on freelancing projects, you should immediately get started with looking at what are the different opportunities that you can tap into, what are the different platforms that you can tap into, and can you really start marketing and selling your real core skills for some of the projects which gets outsourced or transitions by such companies which are looking at variable pay model than the fixed pay model. Now, when I talk about this in my community, there are people who are adaptive to it and have already started really working and acquiring those projects, while others are still contemplating on how should I do it, what I need to do, what should I do or should I not, should I keep trying for a job or not. Let me tell you, while your search for job is on, while you're searching for a job, for a better career, you can parallelly and as a portfolio must start really having a gig economy and your own stake or your own say and your own services in the gig economy. Platform like LinkedIn also allows you to market and sell your services in the initial description itself. What is stopping you from getting started and learning about this economy, about the freelancing work, maybe from existing experts? LinkedIn is the best platform. Go ahead, reach out, build a strong and deep connection with people who are already doing this work. Connect with them, ask them, build a good rapport, be part of communities where these projects are getting shared. Yeah, if you start doing it, that's where by the end of 2 months, 3 months, unfortunately, if you are not able to get a job for yourself, you will at least have something to rely on to in the 3 months of progress that you do in this portfolio as well. Right? Go ahead and start your research and start your work.
When I was a kid, I was told this story that if you take a stick, anyone can break it. But if you take many of them, it is very difficult to break all of them together. I'm sure you also have heard this story many times. And I was again thinking, how is this relevant in today's time? And especially in the context of searching a job and having a stable career. And this stick, I found the power of community, power of being surrounded by like-minded people, power of applying the rule of 33%, where you surround yourself with people who are ahead of you, people who are on the similar journey, and people who are aspiring to be on the journey like yours. This togetherness is the togetherness of a community that you must be part of. Primarily to talk about the mid-career crisis that each of us have gone through. And if I say myself, yes, I have been through that crisis in 2016. What I have done is I've shared that little journey, and if you are someone who is currently going through a mid-career or mid-life crisis, for me actually it came in a little early. I would encourage you to grab a copy. But quickly let me share with you what happened and how all of it really started. It started when I was sitting on my desk and I was thinking as to, okay, good, I've got team, I've got designation, I've got good brand, I've got package, I've got certainty, but what next? What am I going to really do with this 30, 35, 40 years of life that I have rest of? Am I going to really go in the same train, sit on the same place, go at the same time? And I'm not really equipped, or I'm not really resonating myself with those lifestyle. And the quest began. I started taking a lot of assessments. I started taking personality assessment. I started interacting with people and I started understanding with them. So if you are someone who is going through a crisis, in a mid-career crisis or a midlife crisis, I further encourage you to interact with people. And that is the best way to know their journey and also the life lessons that they can share. If you are keen to know more, what did I really do after that, and how I transitioned from being on a job to then getting on an enterprising journey and having GG School of Employability for 4 years, do grab the copy of this book, and I'm sure you will learn a lot of new things with all the 7 budding authors. Office politics. Hi, I'm going to talk about this today because in my 10 years of journey, there were instances when someone gave some wrong information about my performance to my clients and lot of these things. And at that moment when that happened, I had a choice. I had a choice to keep focusing on the work which I was doing, or to get involved in that politics conversation. And let me tell you that very wisely, I kept focusing on my performance, on my goals, on my aspiration and on my career. There were few people who were focusing on the politics part of it, and it got them nowhere. They did not get the next promotion. It got impact in their performance. Now, if it is happening in your case as well, let me tell you very carefully, I am using this word. If it is happening with you, increase the focus on your performance. Double your focus on your performance. Invest time in looking at how can you be more effective, in looking at how can you be more efficient. But guess what? When you do that, what will happen is this. The focus of your bosses and your clients will be on your performance. that what happened to him. There is this person who is talking negative about you, and here you are, increase your productivity, increase your leadership, and increase your team's efficiency. It is going to impact positively if you focus on increasing it rather than having a choice of looking at what they're talking about you. And it's a choice, let me tell you, it's a choice. You make that choice, and I made that choice when I was a working professional, always to focus on my performance, focus on my efficiency, and focus on my productivity and bring out the result which I am capable of bringing. What are you capable of? Bringing out the result or doing the same thing which that person is doing for you? It's a choice that you make. I am getting lot of question about certification. I have done this certification, I have done that certification, and they are on cloud 9. The number one reason people join any certification course is maybe because after doing that certification, there will be an increase in their pay package. It's a direct correlation, which is not wrong. Absolutely, it is important. Why? Because certification adds lot of skills in you. Now ask yourself this question. If you have done any certification, it can be technical, it can be non-technical. If you have done any certification, what skills got added to your portfolio? Here, not in your resume, here. What skills got added to your portfolio? Now, if these skills are new, which you can implement on your day-to-day job, you have better chances of getting better pay package. But if you cannot implement, let me tell you, let me warn you that it is just a certificate which is a piece of paper, nothing else. Ask yourself this question. Did you got certified or you got skilled? Because at the end, skill will matter, right? If you are able to implement on your day-to-day job, which means you got a lot of new skills which will bring in a lot of performance out of you. Now, if you got skills but still you are not able to get a job for yourself, deserving one with better pay package, I encourage you and invite you to join one of my free masterclass. Hundreds of them are joining, and what are you waiting for?
Milind from Mumbai. He reached out to me, and I also mentioned in the FB Live, 3 hours he travelled from one place to another to give that interview. और वो CTO चला गया RBI में, उसने interview नहीं लिया. You know that, right? He spent almost entire night in preparing for that interview. वो CTO के बारे में पूरा रिसर्च किया, टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में पढ़ा, एंड इज वेरी एक्साइटेड, लेट्स गो, आज तो सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा. एंड ही गोज एंड HR आके बोलता है कि वो CTO नहीं है, CTO गया कुछ काम से. What happened? Shattered. And guess what? We are in such a situation that you will get this shattering not one time in a day, but multiple times in a day. It's an uncertainty. You started from your home कि आज इंटरव्यू में जाने का है, गाड़ी का टायर पंचर. What you do? बारिश का टाइम है, पानी आ गया, आपका कपड़ा खराब हो गया. What you do? हम लोग यहाँ पर आए, माइक सिस्टम का प्रॉब्लम, uncertainty. What you do? Yesterday my flight got delayed. I started at 2 p.m. from my home. I landed at 12 in midnight. I'm talking in 24 hours, so many uncertainties. But what if, rather than rejecting that uncertainty, we start accepting it? हम लोग, see why it is happening is only because we are rejecting that uncertainty and we are not expecting it. That is the problem actually. Why is it that you're not expecting uncertainty? When we are in VUCA world, how many of you know VUCA? VUCA, right? It's volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, right? And C stand complex. That's called as VUCA. We are living in VUCA world where you will come across such situation every time. यहाँ पहुँचने के लिए someone said, जोगेश I started 4:15, आधे घंटे का रास्ता था, मुझे 6 o'clock हो गया पहुँचते पहुँचते. one of its kind. It's just that it is not having an impact directly. आपको hurt नहीं हो रहा है, but it's still यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा problem होता है. The first step, guys, first step, please make a note of it if you want, that accept it first. कि ये है भाई, ये situation है, accept it first. And it is going to come again and again in front of you in different forms. How many of you had project failures? So many of them. He's like, a lot of them. We had so many situations already. Now, in those situations, if we survived, why are we doubting currently? अगर पास्ट में हम सर्वाइव ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं बॉस, बाय यूजिंग योर क्रिएटिविटी, बाय यूजिंग योर टैलेंट एंड व्हाट यू एक्वायर्ड एज स्किल, when we've managed it already, why is it that we doubt right now? That's the question.